And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in the world.
There's so much energy.
It's John D and my wife.
Good.
And we're doing too much podcast. How you doing this morning?
I don't have as much energy as you.
I'm sorry.
But it's okay. I'm doing well.
That's good. So how was your week?
Uneventful.
Really?
It wasn't nothing to write home about, I guess.
Anything in particular happen, or what would you like to see differently next week then, since it was nothing to write home about?
No, I like uneventful. This is the life I like. I don't want anything that I'd be like, oh my God, it was so horrible. This is what I need to do. But no, I want it to be where nothing really goes on. I can float through my work day and get home, walk out of the office and come into the living room and like be able to chill.
When I say eventful, there's nothing in your past where you've had an eventful week and it wasn't bad?
Probably, but like when I think of uneventful, I enjoy it to say that everything was just it just flowed. I don't like a lot of bumpy stuff, but I mean it'd be great if something was great, I'd say that. But I'm just happy that I went through the week and I didn't have any adversity. Okay,
so I guess I'm just learning. When I hear eventful, you're telling me that it's not as smooth.
Yeah,
that's what you think
eventful.
of. Eventful. Okay.
I want to just be able to do what I'm supposed to do and be done and enjoy the rest of my day.
Okay. So I guess this is one of those things where I shouldn't use eventful in certain situations.
I'm the one who said eventful, but
I'm saying like me using it, I know at least what it kind of stands for now.
Well, if I say it was an eventful, it's great because it means I ain't have no problem. But if something good happened, I'd be like, it was eventful. I had this, and this happen. So I guess you really can't. I'm not consistent enough for you to take that as a lesson and be like, I'm gonna put that in my pocket. No, don't.
So this morning we were on a walk, and you said I couldn't envision this 10 years ago, let alone 2 years ago, right?
Right.
What have you liked about this transition of whatever you saw today?
Well, 10 years ago, there was a lot that was different. Like, we've graduated to teenage parents. Little kids. I was just talking to one of my friends. She said she has a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old. And she said she has not had a day off since October. And she was like, neither of the kids can have any activities from now up to October because I just can't. I need a break. And I thought that was really interesting because, when they're younger, you're running them here, there, and everywhere. But not even just that. We have teenagers that are very much so like the things they like to do aren't ripping and running here and there. It's like in home type of stuff. So I guess I remember when the kids...
We do take Dallas to the archery still.
We do.
But that's it, though.
Yeah. But when they were younger, I remember going to the Children's Museum and going to the splash pad. And we would go to, the jump places they used to have down in Atlanta. Like, they in Dallas, I made sure that they were out somewhere.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to do that. And so to be able to just kind of float around and walk as slow as I want to through, over by the lake or do whatever. That's just crazy to me. Yeah. It's like I don't have any real responsibilities. I'm literally living retirement right now.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
I didn't think about that. Like, just thinking about anything that their interests or whatnot, we tried to provide, even in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what do you want to do so we can help you versus like running.
Yeah.
I guess it is different. I guess it's slowed down a lot.
Yeah, everything is slowed down. I mean, we have more response. Like, the dogs have us on more of a schedule than the kids do.
For sure.
So, yeah, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have seen myself living as leisurely as I do because I was so used to running. 2 years ago, I wouldn't have seen myself this way because, number one, the pandemic, I wasn't running anywhere. But the dogs and the requirement of that's different.
Yeah. Wow. So what do you think it'll look like? Or what would you like this to graduate to?
No, please don't graduate to anything. I want it to stay just like this.
Well, it can't stay like this because the
What?
kids will definitely get older and leave.
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
one
Like,
thing
what does
I've
the
noticed.
piece look like for you? Like, because you know you're gonna have to lose. Like I know, like the kids can disappear, but it's a different element of when they actually start leaving.
Yeah. Well, when I really see myself as my mom 2.0.
What is
Because,
that?
because my mom spends her time, she really enjoys herself in redecorating her house over and over and over again. So I see myself as planting something new or different. I see myself as changing a color in a room. Um, I do see myself taking trips. One thing I found with my friends is that they're more so of, we need to get out of here. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. So that's fun. I'm thinking about before a lot of my friends, we were kind of held down by, well, we have these kids and what are we supposed to do with them? And you have kids. And not only that, you can't be leaving the kids with your husband for days and days on end because they don't know what they're doing. But now I don't worry so much, not just because the kids are teens, but because you're much more aware of what's like engaged with what's going on with them. So I don't feel like I'm leaving you completely like I don't know what's going on. Like when I went to Jamaica when we turned 30, I was gone for 5 days. And I was really, really concerned about you and the kids. But I figured we were gone. Most of the days we were gone were weekdays. So the kids were going to be in daycare most of the time. So that cut down some of your time. And then your sister was nearby. So I didn't have to worry that much. But now it's like a lot of my friends who have children, their fathers are much more involved. And so it's not a feeling of I'm leaving my post and who's going to be able to fill in the gaps because the guys know pretty much what to do. So it's kind of it's I'm seeing more of that, and I like that. I think that'll be my time will be spent on trips between us, my friends, and this house. That's how I see it.
That seems fun.
It does. I mean, it does.
What do you look forward to as far as parenting? Like, what does that look like to you?
I look forward to doing like, the trips we can do when the kids are adults are different than the ones we could do when they're kids. And the focus is different. So, when we used to do trips, I'd be like, okay, we got to do something educational or we got to do something, got to make sure that we have some things that are like, it might not be as exciting for us, but it'll be engaging for the kids. But when we get older, it's not going to be like that. We could do more adult activities, I guess. I don't know. Even if will they even want to? Will they even want to?
I think that Dallas for sure.
Yeah,
I think she'll be skeptical, but she'll try it out and then she'll tell us if she doesn't prefer
it. Yes. I thought that, look, I'm going to tell you guys, one of the things, just to bounce off of for a second, when they were younger, they used to, like, no matter what they did, if they didn't like something, they'd be like, this is nasty. I don't like this. No, I don't want it. And I said, the nicer thing to do is to say, I don't prefer this. And so when they were young, they started using, I don't prefer this. And I promised, okay, so they used to be in this daycare in Atlanta. It was a church daycare. And when I say there were some young women, Black women, I love them to death. But they were looking like, why are these little Black kids talking about prefer? What their preferences are. I don't prefer that. I don't prefer that. They used to crack up talking about them. But yeah, they will let us know what she doesn't prefer. Because she definitely tells us every time we make fish, she does not prefer fish, but we keep doing it.
I remember I think it started out with Darius because Darius used to say, this is nasty.
He sure did.
I don't like this. And he's
This
like,
is
you got,
nasty.
yeah. So just listening to I don't prefer this. And you know what's so crazy? That's what I do. Like when I'm watching everybody's body language, depending on who's cooking. Every time I'm looking at everybody. So when I remember in the beginning, you say you don't like, you prefer, I don't prefer, but your body language says it's still like they're saying it's nasty. It's like, don't eat it then.
Well, no, I've kind of gotten over that. Like,
oh no, I know. I'm saying
yeah.
I remember it. It's definitely.
Yeah. It's still cut because I knew what you wanted to say. But now, like, the kids will kind of look at you. You can tell that there's certain things they don't want, and I'm like, well, don't eat it.
And this makes me so mad too, because so I want y'all to notice what we've noticed. If it's something that we like and she doesn't like, we won't get it back.
No.
But if one of the kids or two of the kids, all of the kids don't like it, she's gonna try it again if she likes it.
No, I won't.
She'll be like, well, this missed. And it was like, no, this was okay. We'll never see it again.
No. Because I'm very particular. But one of my big things with Dallas is he'll be like, I don't like this. I'll be like, hey, mix your food. Don't just eat the one thing. Like, he's like, I don't like Brussels sprouts. Hey, eat it with that rice.
I know that.
The Brussels sprouts are good. Eat it with that rice. And he did.
Yeah, like one thing they haven't realized, when you mix other foods with different tastes, it'll taste better. It'll sometimes neutralize whatever taste you don't like, and you're like, oh, I guess this isn't bad with this.
Well, yeah, he was like, y'all should remind me every time to eat my food together, because he eats piece by piece. I'm gonna eat the Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna eat the rice. I'm gonna eat. He really tries to put all of the greens on one fork and just chomp it down and then get it over with. But yeah. I don't prefer that.
Yeah, so with the kids graduating to using the word preference, it is a nicer way, because I'm telling you, I remember, like, if we didn't we didn't have really good meals when I was growing up. I remember I used to want, like, the food off of television. Like, you know how they used to do fried chicken? Like, their fried chicken on television never looked like the fried chicken like that I had at home.
Because the chicken on television, okay, it would either look like Popeyes or Shake and Bake. I never had the Shake and Bake chicken either.
Yeah, well, Dallas tried to make that.
Yeah.
That, he keeps trying too.
He does.
I don't have a problem with him trying, because at some point I feel like he will get better. He'll perfect it. But growing up, I remember I didn't like beef, because I like the way that day looks. Seems like I always got to chew. Mm-hmm. That's the way I feel about it. Like, it's like, and I remember I couldn't get up. I was like, you're not getting up until you finish your food, and I would fall asleep. And I'm just thinking, like, it's crazy how, I was being raised by parents that probably didn't have food regularly, and it's like, you're gonna appreciate this food no matter what it tastes like.
Every last bit of it.
And you know what used to make me so mad is that Connie used to always finish her plate, and then, like, she just ate it like it was okay. And I was like, I don't know how she did it. And she was younger than me.
John was always the bougie one. I think the most I hated of the food my mom made were the cubed frozen vegetables.
Vegetables.
I hated the cubed vegetables that were in the freezer. So it would be like carrots and green beans and corn, but the carrots would be cubed. And my mom would put them in the microwave and give them to other food, but I absolutely hated that. So I used to I would eat everything else, but I would use my fork and kind of spread the vegetables around to make it look like I had eaten some. And then she would let me get up. I'm sure she knew, but she'll let me get up. Mom never really fought you about eating any particular food, but we ate most of our food. I did. I just had some things that I just couldn't take. And Brussels sprouts were also one of them. Because I felt like I don't like the soggy, boiled looking, soft Brussels sprouts.
Well, I don't think you like them because you haven't met anybody who were able to make them the way that way. But I'll tell you this, I didn't think I would like Brussels sprouts, period. And when you make them, they taste like, dang, how'd I been missing this? Like, I'm not going to say it's my favorite vegetable, but it's something that I could definitely eat regularly.
Yeah, me too. Which is why it's still in rotation, even though the kids don't like it.
Well, yeah. I just feel like they haven't their taste buds haven't matured. You know, they have this idea of what. No, I guess I just brought that up because I was thinking about how my options were sitting at the table and not being able to move versus the kids being able to say, I don't prefer this, and it doesn't affect their day. Like being told that you can't get up until you finish your food. Like I remember doing that today in Dallas in the beginning. I was like, all right, you no dinner tonight then. That was like the consequences. And looking back, it's like we really did try everything to like like everything that we heard, we attempted to apply it to see if we could get a result. But looking back at it, it's like you missed the mark on that food thing.
This reminds me, I was just listening to this guy. He was talking about how someone had said to him, my son has such a strong will, and I'm trying to figure out how to make him do what I want him to do. And so the guy was like, I heard a quote, and it's funny he said it because I heard it somewhere else too. And he said, in his statement, he said, young black men. He said, with young black men, it should never be your goal to break their will, because those with a strong will, you're not going to break it. But what you will do is you'll break their spirit. And with that, there's a ripple effect of other things that you're going to do in breaking their spirit. But what you want to do is you want to love them so divinely that disappointing you disappoints them or it hurts them. So you have so much respect. They have so much respect and love for you, for your compassion and your spirit and your love toward them, that hurting you disappoints them, and it shapes their desire. So they're not going to push back with that strong will. They're going to trust that what you want for them, it really must be the best. So they are not going to utilize that will in order to fight you. They're going to trust what you want. And it keeps their spirit in place because you're constantly nurturing and loving on it. But it also safely allows them to learn how to use their will against things that they strongly don't want, but they also trust you that you're not trying to harm them. Like the way you're trying to guide them, even if their young minds don't understand. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about, okay, I'm going to bounce off real quick. I was saying that we're looking at spring and how everything is kind of blooming. And there's some people who've been planting trees, and I'm like, wow, that's going to be so beautiful. Day is excited. She said when the cherry blossom tree, we're putting one in the backyard where she can see it from her window. And she said, I can't wait to have a picnic under that tree. And what did you say, John?
What were we thinking about at that age?
Who was having sex?
I know.
And so it's funny because in that time, my immature mind thought that was something I really wanted to do. And now, I'm so jealous of Day that is what those are the things that she's excited about and she thinks about at 16.
Yeah.
But, as a kid who didn't really understand, my mom was approaching me and trying to push against my will using religion, which I grew up in the church, but my will and my influences with people around me, they were so strong.
Yeah.
And this is no slight against how my mom raised me, because she really did love me. When I look back, my mom, she really, really did approach me in a way where I knew she loved me. That's why I had the relationship with her that I did versus seeing some of my friends and their parents. But there was something in there that I wasn't at that level where I understood, you know, what I was getting from her. I don't know if I'm able to. I don't know if it's just the exposure they in Dallas have had, and that I don't know. Are we loving them as divinely as that quote tells you to? Do you think?
Well, I think anybody can put some words together that can express what you want, but I think the way that we're doing it is just the best way we know how. And I think over the course of time, we hear more ideas or options on how to parent them, and we've incorporated it in our practice. Like if we hear somebody doing something, and if we think it's a good idea, we want to see what we could do with our kids. So I think we're more open to listening to what other adults are doing with their kids versus our parents when they were younger. They were just doing what they were taught. It wasn't like, hey, what you doing in your household? So now we have more like technology. We can listen to people talk about what they're doing.
I also wonder if it's about what you have, because you talk about when you grew up and not having a lot, and then your parents saying you better eat every last bit of that because it might be related to like they didn't have a lot of food.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think it was.
So do you think that they're still young parents doing the same thing because they don't have a lot, or are they thinking they have this technology too?
Yeah.
Where they're getting these messages too. So do you think that that's making, I mean, how different is that?
They got to want to get that information. So you're right. They have the same information access that we have. But if that's not where they are in life, they already think like, oh, I already know this information. I don't have to get better in this. So they're using their free time to other things versus becoming better parents.
So, well, and I don't want to say better parents.
When I say no, everybody's not trying. I feel like everybody feels like they know enough. Like to become better, you have to actually work on it to become better. You don't just get better because you do it every day. You have to like add new things to become better, in my mind.
Yeah, but what I was thinking was, okay, so we're all sitting here. We all have this access to the internet and learning from different people. So as we're growing up, I know it's easier for us to say what we're okay with doing. Like, it's okay for y'all to throw them Brussels sprouts away if you don't want to eat it. But it's because we're not struggling to make sure there's food in the house.
Correct.
So if you're having a hard time financially, even if you understand that shouldn't be the way that you have to rear your kids, like the stress of what you're able to provide, you're going to continue to practice these old practices from your childhood because that's more aligned with where you are as far as your resources. When your resources grow, then you can expand the idea of what is acceptable or not acceptable in your household. You know what I mean?
I do. I'm just saying that depending on where you are in your life, you may not be exposed enough to have patience to say it's okay to throw your food away.
I know, but if I work really hard to get this food and I can barely put this food on the table for you. Like, I don't know if it's really about whether or not you can expand your mind, more so of you understand that there's less resources.
So remember we watched, it was some documentary about a girl said, I'm not eating anything. And they were trying to change her diet. And it was like, kids can't starve themselves. They will eat so if you get this information and says, hey, if you give them this, like they won't start. Don't worry about it. They'll come when they're hungry. They'll eat. So if you have that information, even as a parent that only has so many resources, like you're like, okay, I'm not gonna hurt my kid. So that's what I'm thinking. Like the more information you have, I think that it's the easier to change a practice that could, I guess, yield a different product from their behavior. Like if I want my kids to eat this, don't force them. At some point, they'll realize that ain't nothing else is coming. So this is going to be this some sardines and this cracker.
I tried that with Dallas and bell peppers. Man, the look on his face, the look of betrayal. When I was like, nah, you ain't getting up. He was so hurt.
Yeah. I remember doing that to them too. And then I'm like, because, sometimes like when I make some food, I guess the biggest reward is if they get another plate.
We be watching.
Yeah, like as a parent, you're like, okay, so sometimes like it depend on what it is, like I'll settle for your getting seconds. Like if you get seconds, and I'm like, was she really hungry, or because
we don't matter. It's the kids. The kids are the real gauge.
Sure. But like if you get second, I'm like, was it that bad? Because I have different taste buds from y'all. Like I feel like I'm gonna eat it anyway, and you guys
that's
feel
why
like
I can't measure nothing from you. I thought it was good. I was like, oh.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like if I won't say it wasn't good, like if I just won't say it was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dang, this was good. I won't volunteer and say this was good if it wasn't.
Okay, this is something I stepped out on. So did you like the steak the other night?
No. I didn't say that was good.
Oh, my God.
Did you notice I didn't say it was good?
You didn't.
Didn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did really well on that steak. We don't have to put
Dallas
this part in there.
Dallas said too.
He liked it or he didn't like
Dallas
it?
said he liked the steak.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm really not into it. I was like, I told your mother I don't have a problem with red meat, and I didn't know it was going to come this fast.
Dang, I gave you a little piece.
Oh, I know it was.
Yeah, they didn't like it either.
Yeah, but I mean, I finished it, but it was like, I don't prefer it.
Okay.
And the reason why I don't prefer it because I feel like it's just so heavy, and it takes so long to process out of the system. So I was just like, it's not even delicious.
Oh man, that was a delicious steak. Dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've just gotten away from the idea that
I'm gonna make you and Day shrimp.
Yeah, that's cool
when
too.
Me and Dallas have steak.
You could make like chicken and shrimp or something.
Or steak and chicken.
Still go. No, I'm saying like ours could be.
Yeah.
Like
could
even if it was a chicken breast,
shrimp.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying, or I could just not make steak at all.
Oh no, not at all. Because I told Dallas that you're gonna make red meat. you have a thing for red meat.
Who, me? Oh yeah, most certainly.
Oh, I know. Like in this, it just.
But that's the first time I've done that in forever.
No, I'm saying you've eaten red meat a lot more often than you cook it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
so we go out to eat. I'll order a steak because I know that I don't eat red meat at home.
Yeah.
We don't eat it. Yeah, true. Okay.
But anybody want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No. Wait, the cows. The cows that
The cows
that allow me to have my steak.
Oh, you so silly.
I don't think there's anybody I want to give a shout out to this week. Red Lobster, because you know what? Red Lobster, that is the first time I had roasted Brussels sprouts that I really liked.
Oh.
And ever since we had it that day coming back from Chicago or something, we stopped there. It was really unexpected. And I got the Brussels sprouts. And ever since then, I've been in love with Brussels sprouts.
So shout out to them for introducing a different taste of Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I've never had that. Like after that, we don't eat there. So I don't get the opportunity to have that. But now it's really gotten me to wanting to learn how to cook them. And dang, them things good, y'all.
They are.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I want to give a shout out to all of the educators that are ending their year, because I know it's tough for some of you guys. And I just want to say your work is appreciated.
Yes.
Because I know how tough it can be. And keep up the good work. And those of you that are thinking about changing your careers out of education, thank you for your service. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA, get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.
That mug says.